Well, hey, folk, I thought I'd do a quick video about van life with a pit bull and what it's like having a pet when you live in van life and boondocking. Like pretty much everything else, there are positives and there are negatives. But also, we have a whole lot more subscribers since I got Butch. So I was going to give a little background on how I came about to have Butch. What ended up happening was the breeder gave him to somebody, and I guess the breeder found out that the guy, who I guess it wasn't abuse, like he was beating the dog or anything, but it was more like neglect. Butch, you got something on here? Come here. Come here. Come. There you go. But what ended up happening was he was out in the yard. And he was out in the yard all the time, chained up. He was just outside chained up all the time. Didn't have a dog house. He wasn't being fed properly, watered properly. And the tree is raining on me right now. All the leaves are falling. But, or seedlings, whatever the heck it is. But anyways, he wasn't being fed properly, wasn't being watered properly. He was out on a leash all the time. And he ended up catching a lot of fleas. You all right, bud? He got a lot of fleas, and it was very unhealthy for him. Like, the amount he had was so unhealthy. He was getting very skinny. He was scratching, itching, the poor guy. So the breeder went back and took him and said, "You lost a dog. I'm taking him back." So Butchie ended up with my ex. Hey, Butch, come over here, bud. So he ended up at my ex's. And they wanted to find a home for him. So I called her and said, "Hey, man, I'll take him." And I threw her a couple bucks for the, she had a leash. She had some extra dog food. She had the cage for him, everything. And so I threw a couple bucks for that and then took Butch. He is going to be 10 months. I think today's the 20th, so he'll be 10 months in like 3 days. I think it's the 20th today. So, yeah, or 21st. So I think he'll be 10 months in 2 days. And I got him at 4 months. And he's just awesome. He's awesome. The positive aspect, we'll go with the positive stuff first. The positive is, first of all, you got an awesome friend that just hangs with you all the time. And, he really is a cool dog. He could be a pain in the butt, but it's company. You know what I'm saying? If you're bored and you're sitting here, you got company. You got someone to play with. And he's a pit bull, so he likes to play rough. You can slap him around and stuff, and you get the bone or you get a rope and mess with him. And he's just fun to be around. And that's pretty much the positive about him. The only negative I could think of is it's not really that it's negative, it's just the lifestyle of van life. Like, a lot of people, you will want to remain very stealthy. If you have a pit bull, you are going to lose some of that stealth, I assure you. Whether it's you're parked somewhere, you're going to have to come in and out of your van sooner or later because you have to walk him. You know what I'm saying? He's got to go pee, he's got to, go poop. So you got to take him outside. Not to mention, especially a pit bull, you got a pit bull like this guy, he gets wiry and he wants to go out. He wants to walk. He wants to see other people, other dogs. He just wants to get out. They're very active dogs, pit bulls. So your stealthiness can get shot, and barking. He's actually pretty dang good at it. He doesn't bark that much. He does from time to time. If he hears something loud or something hits the van or something like that, he'll bark. He is protective. He's going to protect his area. But for the most part, he does good with the barking, but he does screw up from time to time and lets people know we're there. Also, another kind of negative is, if you are living in your van, and especially this is like if you're stationary a lot. Like, a lot of the times I'm in Ohio or I'm in Connecticut and I get stationary. But like if I'm on a road trip or if I'm planning on going somewhere pretty far, one of the things that you got to think about is, like, especially the time of the year, if it's really really hot out, you're obviously not going to be able to just leave him in there, because I don't have AC in here. I can open all the windows and like, I'm going to have more solar up there, and right now I'm at my exit, so I can plug in and mooch dock. But so with the fan running, it's fine in here. It keeps it nice and cool. But if you're out and about and it's really hot weather, and you're going to go on a nice long hike, or you're going to go into a museum or something like that, and you're going to film your thing, it's not fair to leave him out there in the hot like that. So you have to think of these things as well. Like if you're one of the nomads that go to a lot of different places, and you're going to need to go inside, a lot of the places you're going to go, you're going to hope that they are dog friendly, so you can bring him in there. And for me, it's even a little tougher because, yeah, it may be dog friendly, but he's a pit bull. These guys get a bad name, and I don't think it's the pit bull that should have the bad name. I believe it's some of the owners that should have the bad name, because this guy's just freaking awesome. He is protective, and if he feels that you're a threat or are threatening, he will protect. He has no problem protecting. He's done it a couple times, and I thank him for that, actually. Sometimes he gets a little rowdy, and you got to tell him, but for the most part, it's all good boy, because when he gets that way, it's usually because he feels he has to. But yeah, so you got a pit bull. You're dealing with the fact that, oh, it's a pit bull. But in my opinion, the positive outweighs the negative. It's just awesome having the guy around. He's really cool. You've also got to be prepared. You got to have space for his food. I don't buy just the little bags of food or the little cans. I get him a really big bag. And I have noticed that when I first got him, I'm like, oh, I'm going to feed him the best stuff, this and this. The best stuff is extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. Like, you could get a bag of the expensive stuff, and the cost is going to, for an 8-pound bag, is the cost for like a 15-20 pound bag of like puppy chow or pedigree or something. So I try to balance it out. I do get him some soft food, the blue wolf stuff or whatever it is, and try and mix that in. I do give him a good diet, and he gets fresh stuff too. Like I give him chicken when I make chicken, tuna, stuff like that. He gets fed really good. But you have to keep that in consideration, is having space for his food. Also, space for him, because like in the background here, I'll end up showing you guys, but like I have my little table that I made over here, and underneath was going to be like storage, and I could have a little chair there and do my computer and all that. But with him here, that storage is all gone, because his big old bed is under that now, and that's his spot, and so you have to have the consideration of him having his area and a place where he's going to be comfortable. That so if he's having an attitude and he's mad at you for something, he can just go over there and lay down and stare at you and get mad at you and whatever. So that's his spot. And then there's you got to have extra water on, because if you're doing van life, you're used to having enough water for you to drink, to clean, to cook with. Well, now you got to make sure you have extra water for him, because he needs to drink. And you want to get a good enough, like the dog bulls that don't slide around and move around too much, so you're not spilling stuff if you decide to drive somewhere. But anyways, it's been pretty cool. And also, I'll be honest with you, he helps boost the channel as well. People love him. I do shorts on him all the time, and Butch the Pit Bull, and people love him, and he gets a whole lot of hits on his shorts. Usually, he gets about 1,500, 2,000. One of them was 5,000, and it's like people like him, him more than Boondock Charlie. It's like, but anyways, so I think the positive outweighs the negative. There's just some things you do have to think about. before you get a pet doing van life. But anyways, I'll show you his spot real quick, and then get a shot in with him so you can meet Butch if you haven't met him yet. So be right back, folks. So, all right, folk. Well, there is Butchie's area, and he is right under my my little table area that I made, and I got the shelves up there, and that's where he is. Like, all this stuff under here was going to be storage, and it ended up becoming his spot. So that's pretty much where he stays. And this is old Butchie boy outside messing around. He found himself a nice old tree trunk here to chew up on. So that's one of the things he does. He goes out here, and then I swear you could spend money on the most expensive toy out there, and he will still go for a regular old stick out in the yard. That's his favorite. So anyways, folks, once you get past the newness of having a pet and get used to having them around and everything, it's totally awesome having them. It's going to be like it wouldn't be the same without them. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to, you know, just keep doing van life and everything if this guy wasn't around. You know, so anyways, Butchie boy. Hey, you can say hi to everybody? Yeah? More interested in the bug that's walking around over there? Well, all right. Later, folks. And one more thing I will say about Butch is none of my pets. I've had plenty of pets before. I had a Bandit, was my cat, and that is the best cat in the freaking world. But when I went van life, I didn't know how she would handle it, and she was getting a bit older, but she liked to fight. That cat, she was indoor, outdoor, and any cat that came in her yard, she would kick the crap out of it. My buddy Billy, his daughter really liked Bandit. Every time they walked past the house, she'd want to come and see Bandit. So Billy would come to my house so she could see Bandit. So I figured it fitting that when I did do van life, that I ended up letting her have Bandit. And the cool thing about it is Bandit became an indoor cat after that, which she was getting older, so she needed to be indoors more. So I was glad about that. But the thing about Bandit had her spot. There was a chair in my room, and that's where she slept. She did not sleep on my bed. Thor, I had a dog named Thor, and he never slept on my bed. Bullet never slept on my bed, another dog of mine. None of these dogs that I ever had, cats, any pets, slept in my bed. I don't like it. But Butch sleeps in the dang bed. He'll come up, it'll be the middle of the night, and I'll feel this big boom, boom, boom. He jumps up, goes to the end of the bed and lays down. Sometimes he'll come up, give me a lick or something like that, lick me in the face. I'm like, go lay down. But yep, he started taking over the bed, and you know, he's the first freaking pet of mine that I allow to hang out in the bed. So anyways, I figured I'd get that out there. But anyways, I think that's going to be about it. I think it's awesome having Butchie. Like I said, the positive outweighs the negative. It's just definitely when you get a pet, especially if you get a dog, a big dog like a pitbull or something like that, you do have to adjust. And it's something you can do, and it's totally worth it. So anyways, I guess we'll just leave it at that. But don't forget, always forward to the next adventure. The bug is down.